Top Notch family, what is going on? So, in today's video, we are going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers offseason preview. If you guys didn't know, they did lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves yesterday, 103 to 96. And this is going to be a very, very interesting offseason for Rob Pelinka. Now, before we do start today's video, though, if you guys enjoy NBA content just like this, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to hit 11,000 subscribers. And also, I just want to say, once again, I appreciate everybody that continues to keep liking and sharing. But enough of that. Let's get back in today's video. So, I would say this is a very disappointment start for the JJ Redick era / Luka era. You know, losing in the first round, which you were favorite heading into the series, and then losing in 5 is not a good look. Now, Rob Pelinka, like I said, has a lot of stuff that he needs to figure out for this team to be a championship team, especially in a tough Western Conference. Now, how we're going to start off is just, how they finished off the season, standings, and the record and stuff like that. So, believe it or not, for JJ Redick for the regular season, very, very good start. I mean, 50 and 32. Having a 50-win season at your first year is pretty amazing, especially, doing a trade your second best player in Anthony Davis for Luka. You guys kind of figured out, but not really. Like, it's hard to do in-season trades for superstars. It's hard to figure all that stuff out. But 50 and 32, 36 and 16, their conference record at home, that was amazing. I mean, they were 31 and 10. Away, that's where they struggled. Majority of their losses, 19 and 22, 6 and 4 in their last 10. And obviously, they matched up with the Minnesota Timberwolves with the 6th seed. Now, that's probably the toughest matchup they could have got. Because if they got any other team, maybe, the Golden State Warriors, they could have possibly won. Probably not, but better chance. The Memphis Grizzlies, they definitely could have won. They just got a really, really bad matchup. Anyways, when we look at this, the big question is, where do they go from here? Well, let's just look about how they did in the postseason, right? So we're going to look at the postseason numbers. The problem is, if you look at the minutes, 34, 36, 39, 40, and 41. So you got LeBron James, who is 40 years old, averaging 40 minutes a game. Luka is always injured, averaging 41. AR averaging 39. Rui and Dorian Finney-Smith, 34 and 36. 36. The highest bench player was Gabe Vincent, and that was because of yesterday, because Dorian Finney-Smith fouled out. But no one on this bench plays minutes. That's a concern. 2, 5, 7, 12. They desperately need to desperately need to fix this. You would never win a championship if you're playing 5 players. When you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, they went out there with 8 deep because they had Naz Reid, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Dante. They can go 8 deep, so they can give rest to Randall and Edwards. For the Lakers, they just couldn't do that because their roster construction just wasn't good enough. Another thing too is it's like, how do you go from Maxi Kleber, hasn't played in forever, over Jackson Hayes when Rudy Gobert literally dropped them off 20 and 20? So obviously, the big concern is, how are they going to find a true legit big? Obviously, the Mark Williams trade, that kind of set them back for real, for real. They need to find a big, right? So there is some bigs out here that they can go after. They can go after the Walker Kessler trade from Utah. They can look at Nick Claxton from Brooklyn. And then also there is some free agents that, they could possibly look at. Now, the free agent market is not great at all. Trust me, it's not. But Brook Lopez, Clint Capella, Turner, he's going to stay with Indiana. Naz Reid is not that center they want, but Steven Adams, Mo Wagner, Al Horford, Kayvon Looney, Drummond, and it just gets worse and worse. So they need to find themselves a legitimate center. They have the players. They have the players for sure to find them a center. So that's the first thing that the Lakers desperately need to do. Find you a center for Luka. He needs to have a lob threat. It's really just simple as that. Now, when we look at the team payroll for the Lakers, the next question is, what is LeBron doing? Is LeBron staying or is he retiring? Personally, in my opinion, I think LeBron finishes out the 2025-2026 season, and this is his last year. LeBron looked 40 years old in this series. He looked very gassed. He's not going to be playing any longer. But if LeBron says, yo, listen, I'm playing longer and I want to continue to keep getting paid, as a front office, I don't think you do that. I think you have to tell LeBron you need to wrap it up because it's only holding the Lakers back. When you're paying somebody $52 million and then Luka, who's going to get an extension very, very soon, this is like $100 million close with 2 players. Which LeBron is not the same LeBron, unfortunately, right? So you need to figure out what's going on with LeBron. Is he staying or not? If he's retiring, this is the last year you go all out. Well, for the LeBron ever, right? The last year. Then Rui honestly was amazing for this team. He was amazing. I mean, his 3-point shot during the postseason was awesome. You have to package Rui with AR-15. It's really just simple as that. Simple. You need to package these two guys and that first round pick in 2026 to find you a center or find you another guy to team up with LeBron and Luka. That's what you got to do. The way Austin Reeves has been playing in these postseasons have not been good enough. I'm sorry. It just hasn't been good enough. And that's the only way you're really going to find a good player, because you're not going to go out there and trade or Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt and Dalton Connect. It's like you don't have enough value. There's not enough value, and the contracts just don't add up, right? For me personally, also, I'm looking at Dorian Finney-Smith, and I'm extending him. I think he was awesome for this team. You know, when he fouled out, that was a huge loss. He's definitely one of their best perimeter defenders and also was knocking down the shot. So I'm keeping Dorian Finney-Smith. I'm trying to, field some offers for AR and Rui with that pick. And that's what I'm going with. I personally think you keep Gabe Vincent. He was healthy down the stretch and played pretty good. Maxi Kleber, if you can find a way to get off this contract, you do it. So is Jared Vanderbilt. This dude was so unplayable in the postseason. The defense is so overrated. And when I say it's overrated, it's like he's a good defender, of course, but it just knocks it off because his offense is so terrible, and they literally leave him open every single time. So he's on a cheap contract, believe it or not. But I'm finding a way to get him off my team. Dalton Connect, obviously, he's going to be that young player that you hope that takes that next step, that can crack the rotation. Shake Milton doesn't play much. Jackson Hayes, you probably let him go. You're probably going to let Morris go. Bronny, another player, you're going to let Len go, right? So that's what you're rolling with for your team right now. It's not the best. Now, when we look at the free agents, these are the free agents right here. Dorian Finney-Smith, right? But they're probably going to bring it back. Jordan Goodwin, Jackson Hayes, LeBron James, Alex Len, Markieff Morris. So not the biggest free agents, but like I said, I'm bringing back Dorian Finney-Smith on a deal. If you want to bring back Jordan Goodwin, you could. You release Cam Reddish for him, but I'm not bringing back Jackson Hayes, and you got to figure out what's going on with LeBron James. Next, what you need to figure out, too, is this is what kind of Bobby Marks threw out here, which is, very, very interesting. Shout out to him. But so this is what he got. He got a starting 5 right here. But I'm trying to figure a way to get these two guys off my team, right? Your draft pick is the 55 pick for this year, right? That's the second round. This is your exceptions and stuff like that. Your non-guaranteed players, Gabe, Jordan Goodwin, Bronny, Kenneth, Shake, Dorian. Cool. Your two-way players, Trey Jamison. As you see, they don't have a center on the roster. So that's obviously the biggest thing. Their projected salary, $192. Cool. Now, another thing he did was, this is their outlook. The future of LeBron James, like I said. The extension for Luka, I brought it up. The expiring contracts to improve the roster. I'm not giving AR-15 no extension at all. Just absolutely makes no sense. I'm not doing that. The draft, second round pick. You have one tradable first, which is the 2026, but you do have 5 pick swaps. The sweet spot contracts, 10 players between $2 to $18 million, and apron flexibility. So this is kind of what the Lakers are dealing with right now. And I can kind of show you the draft situation too, because, this is a draft situation right here for the Lakers. So 2025, they don't have their own pick. They have their second pick, and that's why they're going to be drafting the 55th. But in 2026 and 2028 and 2030, they do have their first. But this is the only tradable first right now. So, yeah, man, I think with the Lakers, it's just like find a center for Luka, figure out what's going on with LeBron, fill some trade offers for Rui and AR, and get some depth. You need to get some depth on this roster. Bring back Dorian Finney-Smith, of course. And all the other players on contract. I think Gabe Vincent's fine. Dalton Connect is fine for sure. I'm trying to find a way to get Maxi Kleber off my team, Shake Milton. I think the Lakers have a lot to do, and we'll see if, they can figure it out, because it's just one off season with not a good free agency, with a lot of players on contracts on other teams. And, if you don't land your center, it's going to be tough. Claxton, Walker Kessler, maybe try to go out there and get Miles Turner. We'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys think about today's video. Continue to keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And I'm out.